Well, I had a spiritual experience, to be honest, in 2019. I had it's what I found out now is called a Kundalini awakening. And I experienced it for my first time I did meditation. The people who are very operating at a really high level, conscious people, okay, there's unconscious entrepreneurs and there's conscious entrepreneurs. Conscious people, from my experience, they go through a healing process. That's just something that you have to do. And when you have this programming inside of you, when you have all these unhealed parts of you inside of yourself, you start operating out of that unhealed version of yourself. And when you operate out of the unhealed version of yourself, you're going to attract unhealed people. You're going to react to people from your unhealed self. So it's really important to first go back and go through a healing process. I went through a long healing journey.
Hello everyone and welcome to Unleash. Today I am super excited to bring with us a very, very special guest, Sheikh Saifuddin. And today he is going to be talking on different topics. He is a speaker, an investor, and in the entrepreneurial world who has from a very young age been, in this industry and has come now towards the quantum field as is this his platform in terms of transformation of humans and people. So welcome, Sheikh, to the show. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me. I feel fantastic. Amazing. Happy to be here.
Yes, amazing. So you are a fantastic speaker. I really enjoyed one of your speaking engagements at the Gladiator Summit. And you are here to change people's mindset and give them a beautiful design of life. Tell me, how did you come into this field, which is so different from being in the business group of investment side?
To be honest, I never thought I would be in this field of helping people to transform. And actually, the first Gladiator Summit was a big shift into that space because I was just living my own life, a very private life actually, and I was very content with it. I had an individual, common friend of ours, ask me to speak on some of the topics because I gave him a more spiritual answer to a problem he was dealing with. So one thing led to another where I decided to, take on that call to serve on a stage to hundreds and hundreds of people. So after I did that, I had hundreds of people reaching out to me, asking me, can I teach, can I coach, can I provide courses, something. And at that time, I had nothing. I was just there to deliver my message, what I felt was true to me and what helped me in my life and what could help people in their life. So after I delivered that message, I just saw the feedback and I felt something at that moment. And that feeling, what I realize now, was fulfillment. So once I felt that fulfillment feeling, I'm like, I want more of that feeling.
Exactly.
So I decided to pursue this far more. And that's what I do now. Yeah.
So what I want to dive deep into, like, how is it that you are, facilitating people in terms of guiding them to make the right business decisions and also to help them have a nice roadmap for their long-term goals? How does it go?
Well, first I get people to really assess their life, have a very honest and raw analysis of each area of their life. So we cover 8 categories of their life, from emotions to spiritual life to relationships to wealth to health and even character. And we have them measure themselves, how they feel about each and every category of their life, because in the Quantum Life program, we believe a whole life is really truly an abundant life. It's not just money anymore. It's not just one thing or the other. It's everything. You can have it all. And after we have a really close look and measure exactly where they rank for each area of life, we then start putting our attention and focus on those certain categories of their life. What we help people is really getting to their true, authentic dream life. What does that look like for each and every category of their life? And then start helping them take the actions to begin going towards that dream life, whatever that looks like for that person.
Amazing. So this is something so captivating because you are providing this vision for an individual to achieve the holistic gains from different aspects of life. Because I know so many, especially from our parents' generation, where they were so busy making money, but they lost their health, or they were sacrificing one thing or the other, right? I mean, like they say, you can't have it all. But over here, I can see like a complete package.
Yeah, I think, the old generation, they were, I really ask people, what I encourage people to do is really, what energy are they coming from when they are pursuing money, when they're pursuing health, when they're pursuing relationships? You see, the old world, their energy that they really just originated from was from scarcity, from actually survival.
Yes.
Okay, it's from survival programming. And the old world, when they only had access to one type of life where they have to sacrifice, they believe they have to sacrifice that's so programmed into them that they have to sacrifice themselves to achieve money, really, for the most part. It's to achieve money. So what would they do? They would sacrifice their relationships with their kids, they would sacrifice their health, they would sacrifice their own personal well-being. And yes, maybe they'll be able to provide for their kids, but oftentimes they're gonna be miserable. Their relationship with their children, or their husband or their wife, is going to also be sabotaged.
Yes.
All for the sacrifice for the survival need, because they're coming from the survival scarce energy that they need money to survive, and that's all that matters.
So, like, something brings me to my next question. Like, how are you helping them achieve this? How much time does it take for them to sit down with their goals and have this plan of action?
It's not taking time, but it's going to be sustained effort every single day. It's a new way of living. Okay, it's a new way of living. It's about living in alignment. Okay, but most people, they are just thinking about the next thing. They're just taking different actions, hoping that it's going to give them some momentum for some outcome. What I ask people to do is, first of all, before we take any action, let's reel it all back. Let's really get into alignment, get centered in yourself, and basically learn to listen to yourself. You have this incredible power within you. It's your intuition that we have denied for so long, but it's so important because that voice inside of you will never lead you astray. But we have to start feeding that voice inside of you. You need to start making that voice louder and louder and louder until your intuition, it's like a muscle, it can become stronger and stronger.
Beautiful, yes.
And the stronger it becomes, you can start beginning to listen to it far more clearly and be able to make decisions exactly towards the way that's going to feel right for you all the time. Because sometimes, you have two different options, two different decisions you can make. Option A, option B. And sometimes your head will tell you, oh, okay, this is right now, this looks like the perfect one. It'll get you a little bit of money, but it's not, I don't really feel like I want to do it. Or there's option B, where your intuition, your heart, when your brain heart is in coherence and it feels right, you can make that decision and it'll never lead you astray. You'll keep just making the right decisions that feel good to you.
It'll never disappoint.
It'll never disappoint you.
I really heard something really nice where they said, if you are able to, if you're so passionate about pursuing something to the point where you are losing money, because you're so passionate about it, and that is where your actual goal lies, your dreams lie, which means that how far are you willing to go to this to this certain pursuit, and you know in your gut, your intuition, like you said, which we don't exercise or which we don't strengthen, is where you can identify that yes, this is for me, and life is in abundance. You know, why do we keep looking at it as a scarcity?
Exactly. I mean, abundance. Okay, abundance is all there is. Abundance is all that exists. Okay, if you look out in nature, there's an abundance of everything: abundance of trees, abundance of plants, animals. Everything is abundant all the time. We are the ones who put limits on what we allow in. Okay, we put limits on how much abundance we allow ourselves to experience. Okay, so every time we choose make a decision out of fear and scarcity, or a place from trust and knowing. Okay, when you choose fear and scarcity, you are basically telling the universe, God, source, whatever you believe, that you live in scarcity. There will not be enough. There will not be enough.
Yes.
And if you make those type of decisions, you're going to keep manifesting situations that give you proof that that's your reality. But if you make decisions from the abundant place of knowing, you're gonna start manifesting that into your life as well.
How did you find out that this is your purpose, or like I mean, now you feel that you are in a much different, better, amazing place than you were before.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you navigate your dream? Like what were the pieces that you learned from?
How did I come across this type of work? Well, I had a spiritual experience, to be honest, in 2019. I had it's what I found out now is called a Kundalini awakening. And I experienced it from my first time I did meditation. So the first time my friend, you know, I was running an online business, an e-commerce business that was successful for the most part, but this business and I was working corporate for 5 years before that. And I left corporate because I knew that wasn't for me. So then I started this e-commerce business, and I started many e-commerce businesses. And that was fine and all, but again, I was giving up my health, I was giving my relationships, I was just working, I was taking Adderall, I was taking modafinil just so I can keep working and keep putting in hours. But you know, it wasn't until I realized, I'm like, this is not why I left my job. I'm working way harder and I'm not happy. And I'm running this e-commerce business. I'm forcing my way to run this e-commerce business until one day, one of my friends, he gave me a very intensive, actually Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation course. And, you know, I put it off for a while. And then one day I'm like, you know what, I'm going to commit to this course. So whenever I say I'm going to do something, I do it immediately and I go all in. So I was given this course, and basically how it is that there's a 2-hour lecture and then a 2-hour meditation. If you've never meditated before, 2 hours is a very long time. Mm-hmm. So I would get up 5 a.m. every single day and I would sit in this meditation. I would do the 2-hour course and I'd do the 2-hour meditation. And after that first meditation, I had basically there's dormant energy at the base of your spine, and he teaches you a way to basically raise this energy and basically have your crown chakra opening experience. It was a very enlightening experience, let's just say. And
Did you have to go to a special location like Bali or Himalaya?
No. This is in my home office.
Beautiful. Okay.
This is in my home office, and so for 4 days after that, I mean, I kept experiencing this experience, and then all I can say is that it was such a profound experience for me that my life fundamentally transformed from before to after. You know, it went from force and fear to surrender and trust. It went from, from calculated moves to really flowing, to abundance, from scarcity to abundance. It really did transform my life. But again, there is many different things that happens in between that, but it was a fundamentally transformative experience. And that's how it's kind of just given me this whole new perspective on life.
Wow. I mean, I have not heard anyone share such a unique story, and it just does give me goosebumps because I think it is a path for a lot of people that they have not tapped into, or because sometimes it's just a temporary kind of enlightenment, and then it just goes away when you're back to your groove. But this stayed with you, and it came in for a mission.
Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, some people have moments of, well, they have a eureka moment or they have an enlightening moment, but for some people, they have something called an awakening, and it's a spiritual awakening, and some people have it, and it just stays, and it never goes away. And
Did this Sheikh actually help you or bring about a difference in your decisions, in your work, in your corporate life? Like, were you feeling that you were able to perform much better in your business entrepreneurship skills? And
yes, absolutely, 100%. Because being an entrepreneur, you're kind of in the midst of a lot of chaos. Not chaos, but you can basically lead every decision, every relationship from a place of ego or from a place from your true authentic self. When you start operating from your true authentic self, it has a magnetic effect. When you start becoming authentic, it starts magnetizing all the things that resonate with your authentic self. All the people, all the places, all the opportunities will start being attracted to your most authentic self, because your authentic self is there was a study done. It's called the Spade experiment. And basically they measured, what is the highest vibrating emotion in human beings. And, you will assume it's love. But actually there was a state of being that vibrated 400 times higher than the state of love. And that was authenticity. Because authenticity
beautiful.
Is your true self. It's your most authentic self without any masks. So when you start operating from your most authentic self, you're going to start living your most authentic life. And you're going to start attracting people that resonate with your most authentic self, the opportunities that resonate with your most authentic self. So it aligns your life very, very quickly, because it's going to repel all the people and places that don't resonate with your authentic self, and it's going to attract all the people that resonate with your authentic self. Yeah.
Truly remarkable. So did it make you lose some friends in this authentic, personality?
I believe there's a big price to pay. So, it sounds all nice and all, it sounds easy and, go with the flow, but it's actually very difficult, because it's going to cost you your old life, essentially. There's a price to be paid. And that price is going to be your old thoughts, your old beliefs, your old habits, old relationships, because that life was created from your limited self. Okay, that life was when you were operating at your more limited self, that's not really your true self, your old programming, basically, from how you were raised, from your teachers, from your parents, from where you grew up, your cultural upbringing. That's not really truly your soul. That's not really truly who you are deep inside. So you basically created all these relationships and all these opportunities based on that limited version of yourself. But once you tap into the higher version of yourself, your authentic version of yourself, the one with, your highest levels of programming and beliefs and high self-belief and self-love, and you put up boundaries for yourself and you start taking action towards your dream life,
foundation,
it's going to naturally just start separating from your old life. And it will cost you some relationships. That's just the price to pay. That's just one of the costs of going for your highest version of yourself. It could be a lonely road sometimes. It can be.
About for me to say the same thing. So, okay, so I want to talk about your new program, your community, and the incentive that you have started, and especially in 2025. Tell us about it. How can someone connect and be a part of this family or tribe and evolve to their authentic self?
Well, I mean, you can find me on social media, but basically, it's a it's a masterclass that I've created, and we go through 4 different modules, and we basically address first exactly what is your highest, greatest dream life. What does that look like? What does your relationship look like? What does your health looks like? What are you doing every day? Who are you with? Where are you? We really get clear on that. Not the version that your parents want from you, not the version that social media tells you that you should have, the version that you truly want. And then we basically go through a process of removing limiting beliefs.
Okay.
And then we go through a process because you have to basically empty yourself of your old beliefs. You have to identify where those beliefs came from. Thank those beliefs for bringing you this far, but they will no longer serve you
In the future.
going forward.
Yes.
Let's bring in new beliefs. So then we completely reinstall a whole new set of programs and beliefs to take you and serve you towards your life vision, your dream life vision.
Wow. And also, do you think that it's important for people to connect with like-minded people? Because like you said, it becomes a lonely road when you come to that level. So do you also have a connecting network of good like-minded people who want to aspire and become larger than your existing life?
100% community is like very, very important on this journey, and I've been very blessed. I somehow ended up here in Dubai, and Dubai is full of amazing people and full of people who want to do great things, and it's a very inspirational place, and lots of people that are open-minded, willing to learn, willing to grow, willing to change, willing to transform. So yes, absolutely, that's very, very important, because you basically have to surround yourself with like-minded people. That's going to be a huge catalyst to help support you, because when you're alone, sometimes you need someone to lean on. Sometimes you need some feedback. You need someone to talk to. So community is really, really important, to be around the right people. It could be the best part of life, or it could be the worst part of life.
Yes.
So people really do make life juicy.
Yes.
Makes life amazing. So to have high quality people around you just makes a huge difference.
It does. I totally agree with this. How do you find Dubai to be, because you have traveled and you travel so much and you were in Canada. So what are the upsides of this space?
It's such a expansive city, so growing up in Canada, it's a little bit like everyone's grown up with their group of friends and their people, and it's hard to break out of that group and meet new people. They kind of stick to their group. Also, the political socioeconomic climate isn't that favorable for people that want to do big things. It doesn't really contribute to that. But when you come to Dubai, obviously the cost, there's zero taxes, that's a huge one. The quality of life, and ultimately the people that you meet, because I find that everybody here is very willing to collaborate. Everyone's very open. Everybody wants to do coffee. Everyone wants to do something together. Everybody's here. Basically, the way I see it is like everyone that's here in Dubai, at some degree, they are like-minded, because we all came here with a similar purpose. We all, most people have changed their lives or wanting to change their lives. So they come here, they've left their home country or left their home place. So that alone brings a lot of commonalities between people. On top of that, the government and the amount of amazing projects that they're working on, how much they're expanding in the city, how forward-thinking they are. The government's so quick and forward-thinking and technologically advanced. It just really makes you think about the future.
It enhances the entire, platform for everyone, and those synergies coming in together, bringing in fireworks, really like providing you with all that infrastructure and those resources. And no doubt, I think it is a melting pot, and we're truly blessed to be here. Brings me to a different question, which is, on the flip side, what are the traits of those people who are really not living their authentic self, or what is it that they're doing wrong, and they keep I mean, what are the red flags when you connect with people and then apparently they would be very aligned, but you can't really see? I mean, what are those things to be?
I find the thing that holds most people back is what will other people think. Most people do everything for validation and approval. And most people just want to fit in so they can get validation and approval either from their parents or their friends and make sure that we're all living a very similar life. And, you know, the old life where you have to go to school, get a job, get married at a certain age and retire at 75, 65. And that's just the program that's
Live in the
laid
same
out.
country and yeah.
And that's it. And hang out with the same people in your hometown. Because to break out of that requires a level of courage to stick out, to say, hey, I'm going to live, take a risk. You know, I'm going to shift out of this perfectly programmed life and start doing something different, start living my passion, start going for my dreams. When you're doing that, it's going to trigger some people around you. It's just
Yes.
inevitable. It's just part of the game, to be honest. And the more and more that you can do that, and the more and more you can start living a life that's for yourself,
Yes.
not for other people. You have to stop living for other people. You have to start living for yourself.
Be a little bit selfish.
You have to be selfish because you can't give what you don't have. For example, if you don't become financially wealthy, maybe the pursuit of financial wealth may look selfish, but you can't help people if you don't have resources. You can't love other people if you don't love yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. So ultimately, you have to be selfish and you have to fill yourself up and let it overflow out of you. Most people are operating out of empty because they're always giving their time, their resources,
Yes.
their energy to get validation and approval, and they think it's more virtuous to say, hey, look at me, you know, like I'm just giving away all of me all the time and I don't need any time for myself. But so most people are just operating on empty, you know, they're not really thriving in life.
This makes so much sense, and especially from, I feel, my culture, I think this is something innate, which people feel that it's an obligation for them to give, even if their glass is empty. So on the other side, because you know you are always around people with this higher frequency of, you know, vision, how do they do things differently?
From my experience, high performing people who are playing a big game, they don't operate from a place where they're
very blunt. They're
Yeah.
not afraid to break other people's heart. You know, they give them the hard love,
yeah.
because, you know, they haven't done anything wrong. So it's just some, and I think still I don't have the courage to.
Me too. Like still sometimes, you know, you have to catch yourself, right? So it just takes, just get better and better at it.
Yeah.
You know?
So we can start. Okay. So, Sheikh, can you help me understand what are the qualities and traits that you find in these game-changing people who are operating at higher frequency, who are authentic, who are financially strong, and are leveling all these different relations in a perfect aligned balance?
The people who are very operating at a really high level, conscious people. Okay, there's unconscious entrepreneurs and there's conscious entrepreneurs. Conscious people, from my experience, they go through a healing process. That's just something that you have to do. And a healing process looks different for different people, but a healing process, you basically cannot go forward in life and have a very, very clean life where you have amazing relationships, you're not getting triggered all the time, without going back into your past and basically healing all those parts of yourself that you haven't looked at for a long time from your childhood. And you have to look at those times when all the times that you've told you were not enough, all the times you were told that you were not going to make it, all the times you were told you were not good looking enough, handsome enough, you're not smart enough, And you have to basically kind of reparent yourself to a degree and be the parent for yourself that you wish you had, and be that person that you wish you had, and let go of all of those things that are deep rooted within you. Because when you have this programming inside of you, when you have all these unhealed parts of you inside of yourself, you start operating out of that unhealed version of yourself.
Amazing.
And when you operate out of the unhealed version of yourself, you're going to attract unhealed people. You're going to react to people from your unhealed self. So it's really important to first go back and go through a healing process. I went through a long healing journey before I came to this side. Once you have let go and heal all these parts of yourself that you didn't want to look at for so long, it's not scary. Once you do it, it's very, it's going to change your life. It's going to absolutely change your life. Once you go through this healing process and you let go of all these parts, this old program that you're operating out of, now you're going to feel whole and integrated. And this is how you're going to come to your true, most powerful version of yourself. You're going to basically discover your personal power, your inner power that everyone has. And then you start operating from that self. That's when it's going to be easy for you to be disciplined. It's going to be easy for you to make the right decisions. It's going to be easy for you to have boundaries. It's going to be easy for you to have more courage and take those big leaps. Because when you're operating from the unhealed version of yourself, that part of yourself is always in fear. It's always looking for validation. It's always looking to get something maybe your parent didn't give you, maybe your loved ones didn't. That version of yourself is that childhood that had no control over their surroundings. But now you can go back and look at all those parts and reintegrate and heal that part and come out a whole new version of yourself and operate as your most powerful version of yourself. And that's what I see, that high performers that are really operating at a high level, that I see have great health, that are good with money, that have great relationship, that have great family life as well. They have gone through this process. That's what I've observed.
Remarkable. I think it's just answering so many of these untapped, gaps in people's lives, and they don't want to take the step to heal themselves first. It is a difficult journey, no doubt. It is challenging, and it's like a small example is how you're comfortable looking at yourself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
How comfortable you are in your skin, in your body. And also this thing I've observed and I was studying, when you are with high performers or when you are vibrating at a higher frequency and you connect with the other person with the same levels, the frequency goes higher. It goes double.
Yes. Yes.
And similarly, if you meet someone who's not really done that journey, so you're gonna go down with it, and which is why it's so important to connect with the right group. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, some people are either amplifiers or some people will just hold you back. It is what it is. And when you operate with high performers, you basically give each other more energy.
Yes.
So the vibrations, they go higher and higher and faster. But when it's like magnets, it's if they're just not vibrating at the same level, whoever has a stronger frequency is going to either pull the other person down or raise the other person's up. And if you're hanging out with someone, you have old friends and old family, you can still love them, and you can still love them for exactly where they are and who they are. But if you spend too much time around them, you may try to save them, you try to make them look like have a different perspective, but you have to give that up, because ultimately that person has to be seeking and willing to change. And if that person isn't willing to change, it's not your job.
Exactly.
And you just have to keep going. And that space might get bigger and bigger and bigger between you and that person.
Right.
But that's okay. You can still love them at a distance.
Do you like to read books?
Yes.
Can you share some good books for our audience to?
A book I love is called Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell, I think. Amazing book. He's basically Uh, facial reconstruction surgeon. He's like a plastic surgeon. And he wrote this incredible book about people and their identities. Basically, when somebody has a feature on themselves that they didn't like, just the fact that when they go through a plastic surgery and they change that feature, they begin to start telling themselves greater things. They start looking at themselves better. They start appreciating themselves more. And just because they changed this, it would start changing their life. So it just shows how powerful your mind is on how you perceive yourself and what you say to yourself just from a plastic surgery. It's an incredible book. I mean, It's very in depth, but it's an amazing book.
It's a beautiful story. And then how he's from that angle sharing people's stories.
Yes. That's a very powerful book. One of my favorite books is, it's actually not a book, it's a series of short essays, but it's an old book and it's called As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh. And it's an incredible, it's like poetry for me personally. I've read it so many times. And it's basically also talking about how your thoughts and your life interact with each other, and how he just puts in such a very beautiful way on how your thoughts and life is just completely
a reflection.
A reflection, of your thoughts. Yeah, so it's amazing.
Beautiful. So so in the end, Sheikh, how can our audience, they can get connected to you? How can they be part of this community and this amazing source of knowledge and inspiration that you have started?
You can go on my website, sheikhsaifuddin.com, or you can go on my Instagram, Quantum Sheikh. You can also find me on TikTok. You can find me on social media. Just search Quantum Sheikh if you want to unlock your quantum life and completely shift your reality. And that's where you'll find me.
How did you come up with the word quantum? And there's another word you use a lot, is designing your life. Yeah, it's...
The word quantum, it just came to me, to be honest, because I've learned how to quantum shift in my life, and we're going into a quantum future, I believe, and there will be the quantum field and quantum computing and quantum chips, and we're going into a very quantum future and a quantum financial system, if you're familiar with any of these terms. But yeah, and it's just a word that really resonated with me, and it's just something that sounds better, faster, and more powerful, and I love it. So.
It's so powerful. So all of us out there who want to receive and experience a quantum leap in our life, not just incremental baby small steps, but if they want to make a huge change in their future, and this is your untapped potential. I think I just inspired you inspired me so much in this whole episode. You shared such beautiful insights, which I think is going to help everyone, and I can't wait to have maybe another episode with you, or maybe it's just, thank you so much for taking out the time and being here and sharing this with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. Right back. I think this was something so profound, and all of us, we need to really get in touch with Sheikh, because what he's doing, he's experienced, and he's been on the other side, and now he's on this side, and he's trying to make a difference and facilitate all of us who wants to make this amazing change, especially for 2025.
Yes, 2025.
One last question. Yeah. What do you have for the audience to understand for 2025?
Well, 2025 is going to be a year of profound transformation. I believe the world is going through a big shift. I'm sure everybody is aware, and the people who decide to understand themselves on a deeper level will, I believe, be able to thrive like they've never thrived before. But the people who decide to shy away and play it safe and stay small, it may be a more painful road for some people. But for the people that are open to new information, because I think there's a new way of doing things, I think there's going to be a whole new slew of information and transformation and spirituality and downloads and all types of things that are happening in the world that will directly relate to how someone can take advantage of the opportunities that are coming. And the ones that do, I think for 2025 will be one of your greatest years yet.
Amazing. Thank you, Sheikh, once again. And it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. And can't wait to have another episode with you next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
Samira.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, and see you next time.